British Lions are at the South African stronghold of Ellis Park. It's a completely different proposition for the Lions today. They're over 3,000 feet above sea level, and they'll be playing in front of a 62,000 capacity crowd who only 2 years ago saw the Springboks defeat the All Blacks in the World Cup final in this magnificent stadium. Our live match this afternoon, the third and final test match between the South African Springboks and the British Lions. And the Lions are already here, led as ever by Martin Johnson. They may lead 2-0 in the series, but they'll not be satisfied, obviously, until they complete the job and make it perhaps a 3-0 whitewash. This is the squad going through. Gregor Townsend still there, despite not being in action today, followed by Jerry Guscott, and a big day for that man, Mike Catt, playing against the country of his birth. They look in pretty happy mood. Tony Underwood, too, looking forward to another exciting afternoon for the Lions. Neil back, too. So many men looking forward to this clash this afternoon, and these are the Springboks. I wonder what they're thinking at the moment. 6 changes, of course, in their lineup for this week. Mighty men, but at the moment there is, without doubt, a lot of doubt in their camp. Oz Durant bringing up the rear of that group. Hello there. Well, a very good afternoon to you. Today, the British and Irish Lions can achieve something that no other side has ever done in history, and that is whitewash the Springboks in a test series in South Africa. Now, 2/3 of the job, of course, is done, but in these circumstances, Ellis Park has been a fortress that's never fallen to foreign invaders. The Lions begin their siege in just under 40 minutes' time. Joining me here in the studio to enjoy this occasion are former British Lions Dowie Morris and Ian Evans, of course, the current Lion, who played in the first test, but unfortunately he picked up a groin injury that ended his tour. Dowie and Ian, we're delighted to have you with us. Ian, obviously, from your point of view, sadness that you're no longer there to be part of this historic moment.
Yeah, it tinged a little bit of sadness. Unfortunately, I couldn't partake any longer in the tour after picking up an injury in the first test. But obviously, full of pride with the endeavour the players have shown throughout this tour, and especially winning that second test in Kings Park. And there's an atmosphere I've never tasted before, you know. And hopefully, we can complete it all this afternoon and make a whitewash of it.
Just briefly, give us an idea of what the mood is like in the camp, because it's hard to assess from this distance what the boys are thinking.
Well, it's well within our capabilities of achieving, making history. First team to ever be the whitewashing of South Africa at their home, at their headquarters, at their strongest fortress, if you like, Ellis Park. You know, and it'll do something no other team has ever done.
Yeah.
And it's something that's well within our capabilities.
Dowie, you've sat with me and watched these last 2 tests, and we've sort of suffered every moment of the way. Can they do it today?
Without a doubt. I mean, I've given them the 2 tests to win, and they've done it. I'm still recovering from last Saturday, unfortunately. But I think without that, we're going to see a lot opener game, I think, with obviously the inclusion of Neil back. And maybe the likes of Jerry Guscott to cut loose. And I'm looking forward to a high-scoring game today, but the Lions to win.
We'll see if you're right in a moment. Pitch side at Ellis Park are Gavin Hastings, who, of course, is captain of the last Lions test side, and Sky Sports' Stuart Barnes. If we come to you, first of all, Stuart, Ellis Park is a pretty tough place for any side to get a result.
Yes, it is. They really do bank on the home team here. They really rev up the music. They get the crowd going. It's partisan South African. It's altitude as well. It is a tough place to win. The Lions know that. But I have to say, coming here today, it's a fairly sort of moot atmosphere. The South Africans are shocked by losing the 2 tests. And I feel if the Lions can come out and start really well, then even though South Africa need the win more than the Lions, then with Guscott let loose by Catt and Neil back playing, I feel they've got a real chance. But they have to start well, because if it's a dogfight, I do fancy South Africa today.
Gavin, how optimistic are you today about the Lions' chances?
Well, I think I share Stuart's views as well. The guys that have come in, Tony Underwood played extremely well in midweek, so did Mark Regan. Neil Back, I think, has been one of the players of the tour, and he provides such a great link between forwards and backs that if this ball is moved around, then I think we can see a lot of high-scoring points. And the Lions have run in some cracking tries already on this tour, and it would be a lovely way to end this tour with a victory for the Lions.
Gavin, thanks for that. We'll be back with you in a second. Let's just take a check on the Lions team for today. And in fact, the latest news is that overnight Tim Rodber has gone sick with flu, and that means that they've had to reshuffle the back row, and Rob Wainwright has come in. Lawrence Deladio switches to number 8. Dowie, is that a good move?
I think if they're going to play a fast game, I mean, it's obviously one they haven't banked on with Tim going down with flu, but Wainwright's played very well. If he can just cut down his penalty count a little bit, and obviously Back and Lawrence Deladio, they're out for a wide game. It looks good.
Yes. What do you make of that lineup, Jan?
I think as long as we can achieve parity up front, and we've done so in the first 2 tests, I think we've got the backs to trouble them. As I said, with Tony Underwood coming in, giving us a bit of pace out wide, and also with Jerry being cut loose by Mike Cat, as people said beforehand, I think we've got a very good chance, because I think South Africa are under strength in the back line.
Yeah.
And as long as we can achieve parity in the front 5 and get these loosies around the field to win the continuity battle, I think we can see some good tries being scored today.
The whole thing really about the teams, it seems much more relaxed as far as the Lions are concerned. South Africa have made, what, 6 changes, 3 positional. And it indicates, doesn't it, just generally, that things are not happy with South Africa?
I think they're a little bit disarray. Obviously, they've had a few injury problems, but obviously loss of form, there's been a loss of consistency as well throughout in their selection procedures. Obviously, there's a new coach, new management structure as well.
Yeah.
I think they find it a little bit difficult at the moment, and we've got an opportunity today to capitalise on this.
Well, we can hear now from the Lions manager, Fran Cotton. He's pitch side with Graham Simmons.
Well, Frank Cotton, just the one change from the team overnight, we understand. Tim Rodber out with flu. Was that very much a bolt from the blue, or were you kind of monitoring his situation over the last few days?
No, it's a bolt from the blue. It happened overnight. Tim's just got a Burkitt's flu, and he's been unable even to travel to the ground, so he's tucked up in bed watching this on television.
You've moved Rob Wainwright into number 6. Lawrence Dallaglio moves to 8. Was there any thought in your mind of leaving Lawrence at 6 and bringing Rob Wainwright in at number 8, which he's played, a position he's played in many times before?
Yeah, we consider that, but we thought it was a better balance. Lawrence's pace at the back of the scrum be important to us, and I think if we can get control of the ball and put a few more phases onto our play from the second test, then the addition of Rob Wainwright and his pace and work rate around the field could actually work in our favour.
I know your team are very professional, Fran, very well prepared. Is there a slightest worry in the back of your mind this may be a bridge too far for them?
No, motivation's not an issue. I mean, they know that they've got to be at the very best. I mean, the South Africans got a lot of pride at stake. They're going to really come out blazing. We've just got to make sure that we don't give them the upper hand early on. We've got to get it on top of them early on, play with some confidence, and I think if we can do that, we could beat them convincingly.
History, of course, is beckoning for you today. I mean, how much of that are you going to be dangling in front of their noses, or have you been dangling in front of their noses the last 24 hours?
We can't at this stage, and it's all down to the game plan. Looking at the opposition, looking how we need to play, and just focusing on that. And we know that we can get the continuity into our game. We can cause anybody any problems, and that's the intention.
Good luck to you, Fran. Thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, he seems pretty cool, doesn't he? Yeah, and from a player's point of view, there's no doubt that the job that Ian McGeek and Jim Telfer and Fran Cotton have done has been just tremendous.
Oh, it's been magnificent. The preparation has been meticulous. You know, before the tour started, we had a team building exercise for a week with some people down in Weybridge, and that brought us together as a squad. And the focus we've shown throughout has been marvellous. And a lot of that is down to Geach and to Fran and the way they prepared. You know, they've talked to people like John Hart long and prior to this tour, reading how the All Blacks fared in the last tour. They went there last season, and they've copied them quite a number of the facets that they utilised.
But it does appear, doesn't it, that they've managed to bring all the different factions and all the different nations together to really stunning effect. Oh yeah,
there's been from the outset there's been a real focus of mine. There's been a resolve there to go out there and do a job of work.
Yeah.
And the professionalism has been shown throughout, from the whole playing staff through the management staff as well. You know, it's been superb.
Dowie, what about Rob Wainwright? Because this is a big opportunity for him. He's had maybe not the best of tours so far, but he'll certainly look on today as a smashing highlight, won't he?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, Rob is a very, very fit guy. He likes to play, like you said, wide out there and a great support player. And unfortunately for him, you know, Tim Rodber's been playing magnificently. You had Eric Miller there who's playing magnificently. So Rob's sort of been overshadowed, but I mean, he's a very proud man, and he will take this opportunity with both hands, I'm sure.
Mike Cass, as I said earlier when we saw him arriving, Jan, it's again a terrific day for him, because maybe he wouldn't have thought a few weeks ago he'd even be out there, would he?
Well, he showed very good form out in Argentina with the England team as well, and when the opportunity came for him, and he grasped with both hands, and he showed, especially in the games he's played, the midweek games really, he's shown an ability to utilise the ball and use his backs, and whenever he's played, he's scored some spectacular tries.
Yeah, I mean, without doubt, he could be the man for the big occasion, couldn't he?
It could be. Today might be his day, you know, especially if he links up well with Jerry outside him, and also with Neil Back, you see there warming up, you know, who really has really shown during the midweek games his style of continuity and his ability to get to the breakdown far quicker than anybody else has made it very easy for the backs to score in second and third and fourth phase.
Let's cross back to the stadium. Stuart, what are your thoughts about Neil Back? Because there's no doubt at all that he's a man who's taken his chances when they've come up.
Well, David, I'm delighted that Neil Back is in today. For me, he has been one of the players of the tour, along with perhaps Lawrence Delalio, Tom Smith and Scott Gibbs. Quite outstanding in the midweek team. He's been the catalyst that's allowed the Tuesday and Wednesday side to play this fabulous brand of rugby we've seen. He's got brilliant vision and great hands, and what he's done this tour is use his body weight and his lack of inches to get under attackers and drive them back in the tackle. That was always the problem with Neil Back. Now he's stopping people on the game line. I think he's a quite wonderful number 7. Richard Hill has been magnificent, but I really do believe that Back deserves his chance, and I think he can give them an extra dimension this afternoon in a test match.
Gavin, let's just get a brief word from you about Rob Wainwright, who we discussed a moment ago. Talk about the Scotland captain.
Well, I'm surprised that they've decided to pick him on the blind side, David. Obviously, they're moving Lawrence into number 8, and that surprises both Stuart and I. Rob obviously started off the Five Nations for Scotland as captain in the number 8 position. He was eventually switched to blind side, which I feel is his more natural position. However, you know, one of them is now playing out of position, and I think that could be crucial and may just open the way for Joos van der Westhuizen down the blind side.
Thanks, boys, very much indeed. Well, it's certainly a very tough place to come to, Ellis Park, and here's the evidence. This is what happened to the All Blacks when they came here looking for the clean sweep last year.
Andrews right at the back. Don't need him though. Visa, he's had a top game. Honeyball, Van Skeltbeek, Mulder, Kruger. Here's Joubert. And Hendricks can't hang on. Or play on! And the try scored. So Dalton now with a new target perhaps. Tapped by the All Blacks and Fitzpatrick. Sean Fitzpatrick gets the try. Not happy about the treatment he got either. Claimed by Stransky. All Blacks missing tackles. Sets it up well for Fenta. Here's a chance. Joubert. Swart stays with him. Joubert. Tremendous pace. Right, set this time. Van der Westhuizen. Free kick. Van der Westhuizen. Got it down. Away they go again. Now Mertens. A little change in tactics. He's the one chasing through. Ball's loose. It's there, and it's scored by Walter Little. Driving at the line, the All Blacks finishing all over the top. It's far too late. Marshall again, wiggles out of a few, and Justin Marshall, and he can't quite get it down, and somebody has.
So even the All Blacks found it tough going, and there's no doubt at all that it's a very tough stadium to go to and get a result. Dowie, who do you see today as sort of key in the Lions team effort?
I think we've talked about Neil Back and obviously Mike Catt. And one thing we didn't mention about Catt, he can actually hoof a ball a long way, and obviously in the altitude that might be, you know, a big point today. But I think, again, a man who's surprised me is Davison, Jeremy Davison, the second. He's going to have a big game again today. If these boys are going to cut loose, they've got to take it up front, as Ian said, but he's got to win some good ball. And then, you know, going back to Mr. Jenkins at fullback, if he kicks his goals, you know, I can't see him losing.
Ian, who would you say, maybe, if I had to nominate 2 players, if you had to pick 2?
Well, I have to agree with Derry, the fact that the 2 of the players that are coming in today, Mike Catt and Neil Back. I think a lot of our game today we based on those 2 players, but also we've based the first 2 test victories on resilient defence, and again it'll be down to Scott Gibbs to hold the fort in the middle of the field there, you know, and I think South Africa will be struggling to find a way past him again.
I suppose the question has to be, will Mike Catt release Jerry Guscott? Let's go to Stuart and find out his thoughts on that. What do you think about Jerry's chances today?
Well, Jerry will be delighted. Nothing against Gregor Townsend, but you've got to remember, David, that of course Mike Catt plays outside half for Jerry's club Bath. Jerry had his best club season for years, perhaps ever, because Catt plays this game where he changes the point of attack so quickly. He hits very long miss-won balls, and he gives Guscott a lot of space to work in. And I think in both test matches, apart from that one special moment, we haven't really seen Jerry to best effect. He's been used in tight confines and not in open space. And I think with Percy Montgomery at outside centre, Guscott has a chance to exploit him. And without Henry Hunnable, this South African midfield is not as formidable in defence as it often has been in the recent past. So yes, I think Guscott has real chances. We could see something special from him today.
Gavin, one question for you, that your point-scoring record for the Lions could go today. Neil Jenkins only needs 9 points in the match to overtake your record haul. Are you sorry to see that record possibly going?
No, not at all, David. I'd be delighted. I think Neil Jenkins has just been a tower of strength for the Lions, and the quality of his goal kicking has just been magnificent. And that's a tribute also to Dave Aldred, who's been out here as the specialist kicking coach. But, you know, when you have a successful Lions side and winning the Test series, you do rely on your goal kicker, and there's no doubt that the Lions have relied on Neil Jenkins. He's such a humble chap with it as well, and that's what's so nice. So I'll be delighted if he kicks more than 9 points and just make sure that there's more points on the board than the Springboks have after the end of today's match.
I think we will say hear to that. Thanks, Gavin and Stuart out there in South Africa. Well, of course, there has been very good support for the British Lions over in South Africa throughout the whole tour. Graham Simmons has been canvassing one or two opinions in Johannesburg.
30-15 to the Lions. A lot more tries than the first 2 games.
And right to put Neil back in, Mike Catt.
Oh, definitely. Neil back, definitely. They respect him. Mike Catt, he's had a rough ride here, so hopefully he'll stand up to the plate and he'll be okay.
Confident about today's game?
Yeah, of course. It'll be brilliant. We'll win again.
Everyone's very confident. We keep talking about, oh yeah, Lions are going to win, Lions are going to win. You're not worried the Boks are going to bite back at some stage?
Not at all, no. No, at the end of the day, the Lions have won it. They're just going to go out there and enjoy themselves, and they're going to win.
The Lions are going to win today. I want to send a message to my wife back in Chester. You do not know I'm here, but I am here in Johannesburg.
Where does she think you are?
She thinks I'm at work somewhere, but I guess she must realise I'm not at home because the dishes must be piling up and the bed's not been slept in for a few days. But here I am having a great time, and the Lions are going to win today.
One or two stories like that I think we might be hearing. Well, there'll certainly be some real noise from these 62,000 fans inside Ellis Park today. And after the break, we'll be getting some more views from the Lions camp, as well as looking back at the best moments from the first 2 tests. More international rugby action for you tomorrow morning. USA against Wales. That's Sky Sports 1 at 11 a.m. And right now we are waiting the kick-off in around 20 minutes time or so at Ellis Park in Johannesburg, the 3rd and final test between South Africa and the British Lions. And understandably there's a huge contingent already inside the stadium looking forward to this historic moment when the Lions could record a whitewash over the reigning world champions. Flags of all nations there, and it really has been a wonderful tour, bringing together so many different factions from around the United Kingdom and so many supporters from the British Isles, of course, out there in South Africa, hopefully to see another Lions win today. Let's just take a check on the facts as far as the head-to-head is concerned. In 32 test matches, South Africa have won 18, the Lions now 10, and there have been 4 draws in the series. Now, in Johannesburg itself, well, the Springboks have dominated there. 4 wins, 1 defeat back in 1955, and 2 have ended as draws. Now the match odds, well, the Springboks are favourites yet again at 9-4 on. For the 3rd time, the Lions are the outsiders. They're 13-8 against. So can they prove the bookies wrong, as they've done for the last 2 weekends running?
Andrews with the catch and the drive to follow. Stratum's in there. They're almost up to the line. The try has been awarded. Try for Oz-Durant. Van der Westhuizen, Hannibal, there are men out wide here. Teichmann staying on his feet. Gary Teichmann, he's got support outside. The try has been scored, and it's Russell Bennett who's come on, the replacement. What a moment for him. Dawson getting away, Matt Dawson. Still going, Dawson. He's through. What a score from Matt Dawson. We're into injury time. Leonard straight involved there, the replacement. Dawson out to Townsend. Gibbs is going through. Gibbs is still going. What a run from Scott Gibbs. Dawson out to Rodber. It's floated out to Jenkins. Must be Kate. It's a victory. The Lions have won. Teichmann, Delalio with the tackle. They'll have to do it all again here, the Lions. Hanging on for grim death here. Drops risky. Dawson got him. Play on! Play on! They fan out, ready for Van der Best comes in. Now it is a try. Hannibal testing Jenkins here. It was inevitable that these high ones would come at some stage, but the Lions cling on. Tater's lost it. Hannibal's got it. Van Schalkwyk, Rassie, Montgomery. Van der Westhuizen again. Hannibal, they're lining up and looking hungry. Fenter. Can they keep the ball? Chance here. Hannibal. Out to Hubert. Andre Hubert. And he's all the way. Dawson. Townsend. Delalio. Keith Wood goes in, that's gone forward again. It was a knock-on, but the referee was given a penalty for hands on the deck. And now Neil Jenkins with everybody back home on their knees, hoping and praying that he can just buy one more. Fantastic kick. He has. And Dawson can see it. Taken by Townsend, taken very flat. Dangerous run from him. Play on! Play on! Dawson, have they got the self-belief? It's Guscott drop! It's there! Jerry Guscott did go for the drop goal. We go deeper and deeper into injury time. Jenkins has put this out. Series in South Africa for only the second time this century. The 97 squad, who have refused to talk about 74 all the time they've been out here, will now be mentioned in the same breath. This is a truly great rugby achievement.
It really was a great moment, that. Ian Evans, let's hear from you about team spirit, because it does appear to be such a strong force with this current Lions squad.
It's an integral part of any touring side, because you're there's 35 or 47 in the whole touring party in the face of 45 million South Africans all against you. You've got to stick together.
Yeah.
You know, it's everything. And in the face of, you know, as a lot of our first test, well, the two tests prior to this, as I said, was based on resilient defence, and you've got to stick together. You've got to communicate, talk to each other in the face of, you know, all the opposition, and stick together at all times.
And this isn't something that's just happened as it's gone along. You were united like this before, as you said earlier, before you even left this country.
Well, prior to leaving, we did a week of team building exercises prior to our departure, and we worked hard at it, and it paid dividends. You know, and as soon as you're out there, we were together as a squad. We gelled immediately. You know, which is amazing when you consider 4 different countries are involved. You know, most of us haven't played in the same team together before, and it's you know, it's worked. You know, it's obviously been of great benefit to us.
Dowie, when this squad was initially picked, and when we first heard about the players who were going to set off, there were a lot of doubters about certain players, and there were lots of sort of downbeat aspects, if you like, of the squad, and yet they proved all those doubters wrong.
Well, that's a credit to the management, I think. Obviously, the players have a massive part to do, but like Jannie's explained, it's a credit to them. They've built them, gelled them together, which is the big thing. But yes, I mean, people were saying, I mean, it's after a massive season that all the lads have played. You know, they're just going to go out and get absolutely crucified. You know, they may win 2, 3, 4 games, they may pinch one test, but you know, credit to the guys. They've gone out and all the people, probably the Dawsons, you know, the Davidsons, all these people have come through.
Did you believe in them right from the start? Did you
I thought it was just, with the season they've just had, I just thought it was just one or too many, really. And you know, people were going out there with injuries, and we've seen what they've done, and you know, credit to them.
Well, you're delighted, like me, to be wrong about that. I tell you what, you mentioned injuries there. One man we saw coming home early, sadly his tour was ended pretty early on, was Doddy Weir. We're now delighted to say that he's back out there in South Africa, and he's with Graham Simmons.
David, thank you very much. Doddy Weir, it's great to see you here. Great to see you looking so fit and well. What's the update on the injury now?
The extent of the injury has been quite good news. I was seeing a specialist on Wednesday prior to leaving to come out here on Thursday, and no operation needed, which to me is tremendous. I'll be back in a couple of months, hopefully playing.
Mixed feelings, I should imagine, for you, sitting at home watching the last few weeks of this Lions tour. Glad the team are doing so well, but perhaps a shame that you weren't part of it.
Yes, it was. Well, obviously the boys are doing extremely well. Nigel Redmond came in my place, and I think he's played probably the best rugby of his career. Got great memories. I had great memories of being here for the 4 weeks and enjoyed it, and it's just it's nice to be back again.
I know you've only been here, 24 hours or so, Doddy, but how do you judge the mood of the camp?
Well, you can see by the atmosphere here, there's a lot of British Lions supporters here. We've won the test series, so the pressure's off. And the player strength, I think the boys are going to go out and enjoy the game.
Flying start is important today, isn't it?
Oh, without doubt. If we get points early doors on the board, it's going to make the Springboks think about how they're going to play, because they're going to be under intense pressure, not only from themselves, but all the supporters and the media and the whole of South Africa.
Come on then, say all these hellos to all these people back home. You want to say, make it snappy, because the match starts in about, 15 minutes?
I've got a few hellos to say, yes. To Belgium Golf Club in Belgium, good luck. Curtle Ferry, where I watched the match, the first 2 test matches. Agnes, sorry I'll miss your pancakes today. And finally to the new sports diner at Newcastle Kingston Park. I hope you have a great evening.
And Doddy's now going to go away and teach me how to say Wob Wainwright instead of Rob Wainwright. Back to you, Dave, for the time being.
Commercials are over just for the moment. We'll be back with them in a moment. But good to see Doddy up and about. He looks pretty good, doesn't he, Jan?
Yeah, tremendous news, the fact he doesn't need surgery, and he's looking very buoyant, and he's obviously been helped along with that good news. It's good for us.
As Graham said, kick-off is not far away now. Just give us an insight into what the players are actually going through. What are they actually physically doing right now with 10, 12 minutes to go?
Well, it's going to be different people have different ideas prior to the game, and Martin's left us very much to our own devices prior to the kick-off, and then brought us together in the final 10 minutes really, as a unit, because it's important you start off with a bang. The first 20 minutes is crucial.
Yes.
But for the an hour or so beforehand, you really warm up at your own pace. You do your own thing. Really like to focus on the game the way you're used to, and so but the final 10 minutes you really brought together in a huddle. You talk each other up, you look each other in the eye, and you really focus.
Martin Johnson is somebody we haven't actually sort of singled out yet, but he's obviously another man who's played a major part in this Lions' success.
He's very much led from the front. He's been there when the big games have come around. He's been leading the pack, winning the ball, making the hits. Really has led from the front. He's been an admirable example for anybody.
Right, let's cross back now to Johannesburg. Hopefully we can re-establish contact with Gavin Hastings. Gavin, just tell me briefly what your thoughts are about the way this game will start today.
Well, I think there's no doubt that the Springboks have been wounded over the last couple of weeks, and they're going to come out all guns a-firing and a blazing today. The atmosphere is really building up here. It's 2 years since the World Cup final, and I will never ever forget that moment. And I think that they've had such a proud record, obviously, over the last number of seasons here at Ellis Park, and there's no doubt that they don't want to lose this one. It's going to be a fierce opening quarter, but there's no doubt that if the Lions can keep up their tremendous defence, then they're certainly in with a shout.
OK, just a final thought from you, Gavin, before we let you go. I mean, obviously the commitment is there. Physically, how tired are these players?
Well, I was just watching them, and one of the features that the Lions have been, they've always done their warm-up on all the test pitches prior to the game to take in the atmosphere. And I've just looked at the players, and there must be an incredible high what they've been going through over the last fortnight or so. This is going to be a tremendous way to finish off the tour. No team has ever won a test series to 0 in South Africa, and the Lions have got that as an incentive. And I don't think they need much more than that. They're going to come out with plenty of fire and passion, and let's just hope they can do it.
Gavin, thanks very much indeed for that. Well, the Lions, they're already in the history books, but will they be leaving Johannesburg today as the most successful tourists ever? We're going to find out right after this break. More international rugby is coming your way next Saturday when England take on Australia. That's live from Sydney next Saturday morning at 10:30 on Sky Sports 2. But this Saturday, it's the third and final test about to get underway at Ellis Park in Johannesburg. South Africa against the British Lions. What a moment it could turn out to be. Watching the action with me in the studio here in London, Ian Evans and Dowie Morris. Ian, first of all, just a brief thought about the way this game will go from you.
The first 20 minutes are going to be crucial. If our defence holds up, so I'm sure it will, it has done the first 2 tests, I think the second half, we'll break away and score. Because I don't think we've got much to South Africa have much to offer behind.
Dowie?
Well, we talked about the backlash. I mean, it happened a bit last week, obviously, when the South African forwards took the game to us. But like Jan said, the defence has been phenomenal, and they've just given the whole country such a lift. And I just hope they go today and just put their names in that record book, and it would just be a fantastic, fitting end to what has been a magnificent tour.
Right, let's go to Ellis Park then and join, as ever, our Sky Sports commentary team out there, Stuart Barnes and Miles Harrison.
Well, I don't think we've quite calmed down after last week's euphoria. The Lions side is there, a late change. Tim Rodber pulled out with the flu, so Rob Wainwright will wear number 6, and that means a move to number 8 for Lawrence Dallaglio. Also involved today, Tony Underwood, Mike Catt, Mark Regan and Neil Back. They'll all be keen to play their part. South Africa, who would have thought we would see a side from South Africa in this series, minus the likes of Hubert, Small, Mulder, Honeyball, LaRue, Andrews and Kruger, but there it is, and there's a lot of pressure on these players, in particular Russell Bennett, an 11th hour replacement for Hubert, a new cap, Jannie de Beer, who's been given the task of orchestrating the play from fly half. Changes in the pack as well, Dalton and Taron in the front row, Otto at lock, and young Rassie Erasmus will make his debut. The 2 sets of replacements, it will be great to see Alan Bateman come on. He's had such a marvellous trip. A Lions cap is what he fully deserves. And the Lions supporters here again in force. They're making a tremendous noise. And Ellis Park, a splendid stadium. 2 years ago, the scene of South Africa's greatest rugby moment, arguably the most memorable rugby moment of all time. A nation was dramatically and emotionally pulled together on this ground. But now it could be the scene of one of South Africa's greatest sporting tragedies. They're facing a whitewash against Martin Johnson and his Lions, and what pride he must feel leading out this team. They're looking to play rugby that befits a Lions side. They're 2-0 up. The chances to throw the ball around so far in the Test series have been few and far between. But those players will be determined, and none more so than Jerry Guscott, to get that ball in hand today, Stuart.
Yes, and I believe with Mike Catt there behind Neil Jenkins at fly half, that is exactly what the Lions will do. They pick Neil back at open side to get wide, to outflank the big South African back row, and I think the Lions will be very positive. South Africa need a dogfight. They'll win a dogfight. It matters so much. The Lions to win must be positive, and I think they'll go for it.
The roar will be tremendous. Slow walk out initially from Martin Johnson and his team, but they'll be pumped up inside. Of that there's no doubt. Professionalism has been the watchword of this tour, and they will want to finish the job now, leading 2-0 against Gary Teichmann. Question marks over his leadership qualities, so a big game for him today. And South Africa are here to find a solution to a big problem. And if we thought they were motivated last week, we haven't seen nothing yet. Here they come. Stuart.
Well, that's the challenge that the Lions face to make it 3-0. South Africa have brought back the big men, the Davi Tarons, the Krino Ottos. It's going to be physical and formidable. And what pressure on that man, Gary Teichmann.
And there's Russell Bennett, his 3rd cap. Jannie de Beer, the Free State fly half, picked for his kicking. What a problem that was for South Africa last week. The ground is ablaze with colour. There's James Dalton. And you have to say an atmosphere reminiscent of that World Cup final 2 years ago.
Well, it seemed fairly quiet an hour and a half ago, but now it's spine-tingling stuff.
The anthems. Sigalele e Africa, followed by Distem. What an atmosphere. Fingers crossed for the most fluid match of the series. There's Wayne Eriksson of Australia, 38 years of age, from Sydney, taking charge of his 12th international. And Neil back, waited so long for this moment. He's on the big stage now, and he's got a big task in front of him. South Africa will get us underway in the shape of their new fly half, Jannie de Beer. The Lions ready themselves for another onslaught. They got one 7 days ago and they survived it manfully. What can they do this time? Here we go, third and final test. The Lions leading 2-0 and going for a history-making whitewash. De Beer for South Africa. Dawson.
Stay up, Green, stay up, Lock Street. Keep back, Jannie.
And Delalio goes in, realising that Dawson is trapped.
Go, James.
Johnson's there. Cat. He hasn't found touch. Teichmann going forward to Tehran. And the Westhuizen. I don't think he really believed it got away. The penalty had been given for offside.
Yes, Neil Jenkins to clear now. That was a good start for Michael Catt. Big high kick. Gave his chasers all the time to get under it. And that's good solid play from the Lions.
There's Teichmann going in.
Davy Tehran. A little bit slow on the uptake there.
Don't close, Green.
And he's certainly a less mobile prop than the man he's replaced, Adrian Garvey, who's on the bench, but Tehran will add weight. There's Mark Regan. And it's down from Delalio, who'd moved right to the front of the line out. Driven on by Tom Smith. Neil back. Dawson. This is the best start of the series for the Lions. Dawson again. Cat. They're looking to use Bentley, of course, in off that wing. Cat. He finds Guscott, and he's got some space here, Jerry Guscott. Mazy little run. And it's kept on by Russell Bennett, the border fullback.
What a start to the game. Russell Bennett showing rare pace there. But the Lions, as you say, started so well. There's Cat's missed pass and Gus got stabbed in beautifully. But then a quite horrendous pass and Bennett nearly took advantage. Let's watch, there's the right boot. Wasn't in touch.
And now it's South Africa's turn to try and get a platform, but there's a knock-on. And their play has been littered with mistakes in this series.
Hold it, pop it out, pop it out.
They can ill afford moments like that.
Pop it out, tight head, pop it out. Shoulder out.
One of the reasons the Lions are 2-0 up is that when they've got in South African territory, they've come away with points. South Africa too often have had concerted periods of pressure and come away with nothing. They must score when they get their chances today.
Referee there, just checking the two front rows on the far side. And the free kick is given, and it's Dawson who goes and tries to get away from Van der Westhuizen. Wainwright gets his first touch. Venter was back quickly. And the Lions go round on the wrong side and they concede a penalty. The pace of the game is quite something to behold. Another penalty. This will be the first kicking opportunity and the chance for Jannie de Beer to make his mark.
Well, torrid stuff from both teams. South Africa keeping the ball moving. The Lions go round the wrong side. And this is an important moment for Jannie de Beer. Test debut and a kick-up. He needs this to settle what are bound to be fairly serious nerves. He is going to be crucial to their effort this afternoon. Not only has he got to kick the goals, he's got to orchestrate the performance and give it structure that's been lacking in the first two tests.
Some famous names have worn that jersey in recent times. Stransky, Leroux, Honeyball recently. Now it's De Beer. First test match, first kick.
South Africa would have given for just one of those in Durban. Important now for Neil Jenkins to hang this restart, give the Lions every chance of getting back on the offensive.
And it's the switch to ask Tony Underwood to go forward, but it was taken by Andre Snyman.
Still going.
What, 5 minutes gone? It feels like we've already played a match. Van der Westhuizen. De Beer. Oh, he's settled well.
Yes, don't expect too many frills from Jannie de Beer, but expect controlled kicking. He has prodigious length, and he will use that. Now here's a man fired up, Mark Regan. His battle with James Dalton could be quite something to behold.
Well, Regan looking to pick out the two locks, and also Delalio at the base. He'll move around this afternoon in that line out, Delalio. The two locks of Johnson and Davidson have been quite superb. Lions getting the drive on. Cat. It's Gibbs. Took a couple to stop him. Davidson, Guscott. That was a little loose. And it's picked up by Percy Montgomery. And driven on by Straydon. Van der Westhuizen waits, and there's a lot of men in support here. Dalton, well covered by the Lions. They read the threat, but it's all hands to the pump here. As Van der Westhuizen kicks in behind Bentley. Well, if he got it right, he couldn't lose. It was either a nasty bounce for the winger, or it was heading into touch. He shakes his head, he wanted it to stay in.
Momentum for the South Africans. Jeremy Davidson threw the loose pass, and he suffered there. He landed very awkwardly, and these are worrying times for the Lions. Worrying as well as their capacity to make mistakes at the moment, and they're feeding these Springboks and they're suffering from a very fiery start. We knew it was coming. You mustn't give them any chance.
Well, as treatment is given, the Lions rely there on Johnson, and Johnson with a catch and drive, which scored 10 out of 10 considering the pressure. And the relief provided by Dawson's kick. Now, Jeremy Davidson, it's so important that he tries to stay on. There's no natural backup on the bench. And with Robber having pulled out with the flu, he would have moved up into the second row had he been on the field. So Richard Hill as a flank forward. Perhaps for once he's hoping that he stays on the bench.
I suspect it would be Rob Wainwright going up to the second row, but that would be a massive blow.
Well taken by Crino Otto on his return to the South African side. Durant's got it in there. Van der Westhuizen, Teichmann, the rehearsed move with Dalton. Van der Westhuizen again, look at him always aware. Slippery customer. Teichmann. This is powerful stuff from South Africa. Van der Westhuizen, De Beer as they spin it, Montgomery! Great tackle came in, that was Jerry Guscott, and he ripped the ball free.
Tackle man! Pulling the ball away!
But illegally. The player was on the ground, the penalty has been given, the Lions supporters don't like it. And they like it even less because it's smack bang in front of the post.
Well, a bit of a nightmare for Percy Montgomery. It's bad enough having Scott Gibbs as one centre against you, but Jeremy Guscott joining in with a big hitting. Great tackle there, but Guscott just flicks it back with a hand. That's what's been given. There you can see it. Chance now for South Africa. This is tremendous defence from Guscott. Very low in the tackle and just drives Montgomery backwards. Outstanding defence, but it should be 6-0 to South Africa.
It is nearly up to the 10-minute mark. De Beer has 2 penalties to his name.
And this week, South Africa are scoring the points when they're getting down there. Lions forwards have started very well, but it's important that they stop making loose errors in the loose play. They're allowing South Africa easy entry into the game.
That gave the forwards chance to get forward. That restart from Jenkins, good one. Van der Westhuizen. Testing out Underwood. Safe under the high board, Jenkins running into trouble.
Let it go, Red, let it go! Lock speed.
And here they go with Montgomery's pass to Teichmann, on from Van Schalkwyk to Rousseau, almost got away.
Play on! Stay up, Green! Let it come out!
And they're looking dangerous in broken play, South Africa, but it's the Lions' ball. Underwood, Jenkins, Delalio.
Stay up, Green, let it go!
What a sturdy performer he is.
Nothing for.
Referee lets it go. Durant to push it back to Van der Westhuizen. Underwood, Jenkins. And amidst all the unrest, the phlegmatic Jenkins with the kick.
Just calms down a situation that was started by a bad decision from Neil Jenkins. Underwood and Jenkins working well together there. Good control, but South Africa on the offensive and in control, as they were in the early stages at Durban.
Close, please, Red, number 6.
Must run through space, because these guys are going to tackle all day.
Dalton. And he picked out Straydon.
Over the top, number 4.
And Martin Johnson has been penalised. Just a little too eager there, the captain. And look how quickly De Beer came up to Captain Teichmann and said, I want this.
Teichmann had to be firm, didn't he? Because Van der Westhuizen was there. He really wants to keep this game moving at pace. Straden goes up, a good take. And Johnson over the top he goes. Mustn't allow chances. 45 metres is a long kick, but for Jannie de Beer, at altitude and a ground he knows because he played for Gauteng when they were formerly Transvaal, well, this is meat and drink to this man.
Yes, he was here 2 years ago. It wasn't a particularly happy time for him. It coincided with a major injury. Had knee surgery. His career was actually under threat, but not now. And he will be the most popular man in the stadium if that one was successful. Wasn't quite. Stays 6-0.
Mustn't give the penalties away, though. One of the hallmarks of last week's win was the iron defence and discipline. 3 penalties already given away in kickable positions. They must tighten up.
Call from Erasmus. Was taken over by Durant. Van der Westhuizen, De Beer. He's also in the side for the high kick to put pressure on. And he's fallen nicely for Rousseau when they tried to get back, and what an important hand that was. Wasn't the greatest kick in the world from De Beer. It was meant to go more towards the fullback Jenkins, but it nearly worked, and Rousseau was very aware to what was on.
Yeah, terrible hook there. That had 15 on it. But straight across, comes down on Bentley, and Rousseau, who's got excellent fullback skills, kept his eye on the ball, and the Lions at full stretch to keep South Africa out. A bad kick nearly came good.
James Dalton to throw, still only 24. Seems to have been around for a long time, and it was a quick throw by Dalton. Real invention from South Africa. They're looking so hungry. Van der Westhuizen tried the aerial route.
There you go, lots of feet. Stay with it.
Dalton, De Beer, Montgomery. These are desperate times for the Lions.
Let it go!
And it's a South African
Ball's on the deck. Green going forward.
Well, excellent defence from the Lions, but they are being stretched. There's a lot more wit, invention and vigour from South Africa all round this afternoon. And a lot of it's coming from James Dalton, the hooker. He is everywhere at the moment. A real battler, and he's got great tenacity. Good defending from Tony Underwood as well. But this is a dangerous situation for the Lions. Slap bang midfield, powerful scrum. I wonder if Teichmann will be going.
Teichmann is in control, the number 8. Dawson's waiting to pounce, but it's given on and driven on. The back row of Fenter and Erasmus are making their mark alongside Teichmann. This is Durant. Van der Westhuizen, picked up by De Beer. Out now to Montgomery. Had to come, simply had to come.
Power, and then a bit more power. Percy Montgomery on the end of it, but this is one for the forwards. Deflected off Wallace, and then it's an overlap. Van Schalkwyk with a good ball to his partner Montgomery, and he scores, but it came from Fenter. Durant charging forward, crossing that gain line. You've got to stop them at source. The Lions didn't that time, and they couldn't stem the side.
Try last week for Percy Montgomery on his debut. Now he's got another. And it hardly came as a bolt out of the blue. De Beer tries to make it 13-0. Flags are up. And South Africa are up for it as well.
Well, it's the big men on the charge. If you just check it now, you can see Oz Durant in position, and then he takes it on. He takes it on, and they cross the gain line. That's the key to it. And then it's a 3-on-2. Van Schalkwyk with a beautiful pass, and that's easy. The Lions now under real pressure.
Well, last year New Zealand came here having won the series, but they couldn't cause the whitewash, and they met the full force of South African power. And this has not been a good opening for the Lions. 13-0.
Yes, too many errors, not good enough retention, and South Africa are just driving them backwards. Territory, possession, everything is flowing from South Africa. Regan must be accurate now. They need 5 or 10 minutes of good precision rugby with some points to get them back in.
Dawson, Cat, Jenkins.
Stay up! Off speed, push back!
Dawson again. Cat. This is back. Johnson popping up out wide. Good central position. Cat. Checks where the support is. More on this side with Bentley, having come across and left his wing. And there's going to be a penalty for offside. South Africa penalised.
Offside, green man.
And while that sorts itself out, and John Bentley very much involved with Andre Fenter.
There's a bit of edge here. Better play from the Lions though. Mike Cat orchestrating well. Couple of good passes and a change of direction. Bentley eyeing up Andre Fenter. Brave man to take on the big Free Stater.
Neither of those two backward at coming forward though, are they?
I wouldn't want to separate them, Miles, no. This is an important kick for the Lions. Jenkins could not miss last week. They really need this one this week.
Well, no doubt about where his support lies. Right behind this man, Jenkins, 99 points on the tour. It's a good strike, he likes it, he's turned away, and he's got the 3 points. Well, that's a mighty relief to the Lions halfway through this first half.
Had to come back at that stage, needed points. Needed some control of the ball. That will just settle them a little bit.
Brilliant take from Fenter. Haven't seen the best of Andre Fenter so far in this series, but we're seeing it now.
Yeah, he is charging all over the place, and that was a magnificent athletic leap. Eyes on the ball. Davidson goes up, but it's Fenter. Lions did well to drive him into touch, though. Paul Wallace very aware, so Mark Regan has the ball and the Lions in control, at least of the line-out.
Fenter, the man who replaced Francois Pienaar on this side, and he's been a permanent fixture ever since his involvement. The ball was not knocked on. Dawson. And the referee wants a word with his touch judge, Colin Hawke.
Just hold it, fellas,
and
please.
that normally suggests foul play. Let's have a listen.
This gentleman here.
Which one?
Pete.
Number 3? Number 3?
No, the lot.
Right.
Number 5, yes. Ball nowhere near it. Thank you. Penalty. Number 5.
It's Bruno Otto.
Captain, please. The ball was coming. I'd call for the ball to come. He was well away from that. Keep your feet to yourself, please. A penalty against you. Feet near the ball only. Understand?
horse's mouth, and this is Neil Jenkins to take the penalty.
Well, I think they play that show Soloza just to calm down the referee, but there was nothing melodic about the use of boot from Crino Otto here. Number 5, he's gone over the top, and his feet are in places they should not be. And the Lions have a chance to go forward. A good solid kick from Neil Jenkins.
And the cry of Lions starts to ring around this magnificent stadium. Davison just couldn't make it. Tysman did. Fenter, Van der Westhuizen, Bentley. Now we've seen what he can do. There goes John Bentley. He's gone off like a flare again. Still going. What a run from Bentley. Dawson, Cat. Now has that given the Lions a spark? Delalio. He's starting to evade the tackles now. What a match of rugby we've got on their hands. Dawson. Cat. Underwood. Cat tries again. Guscott with that run. It was awkward. Continuity superb. Ball retention. That's what it's all about. Back. Lovely long pass, wasn't it, from Cat? Bentley off the floor to Tony Underwood. And Underwood is away here. But it closed up in front of him. Great cover from South Africa.
Green man!
But the ball denied.
Green man over the top.
From coming back on the Lions side. Man over the top, penalty.
Push back, please.
Well, Russell Bennett adjudged to be the guilty party, but that was tremendous stuff from the Lions that got them there. Backs and forwards together. Russell Bennett had to come over the top.
How far back? How far back?
No problems. Bentley instigated this. He's been such an inspirational figure on tour. He just loves to come in field. Van der Westhuizen can't get there. If Underwood had just arrived a yard earlier on that short line he was taking, he could have been away. But that was tremendous play.
And Scott Gibbs going in a highly committed way.
One way of putting it. And there's some highly committed South Africans, but they are transgressing the law.
Penalty against you there. We're playing advantage here.
But Didier Mene, the touch judge, had decided to penalise Hannes Stradum. It's not affected the referee's ultimate decision, which is a penalty in front of the posts.
Cracking riposte from the Lions. Starting to play the game that Cotton and McGeechan have been preaching. Brave and positive. And in the face of this fierce South African team, truly tremendous effort there.
Well, if this goes over, they really are starting to claw their way back into it. Not just in terms of points, but in the way they're starting to play. Jenkins. Need I say more?
For Jenkins, Reed, 3 points. That's 7 on the trot in Test match against the Springboks under the most intense pressure. Not a bad record. And the Lions are coming back.
De Beer. Well, we kept our fingers crossed that this would be the most open match of the series. It's turning out that way, and Cat's running in it. Gibbs. Delalio. Cat tried himself. And Bentley just couldn't pick it up off his bootstraps. Bennett's got it. Referee playing advantage. And Bennett's pace from fullback is proving to be quite a weapon.
Tremendous counter-attacking force.
Van der Westhuizen, Steeman, but it's out on the full.
Well, relief for the Lions there. Cracking pace to this game at the moment.
take a quick one there, but the referee wants the original line out to be taken from the original position. It was Andre Snowman, and we saw there on the replay, and Russell Bennett also so involved in everything that is good in terms of pace.
A very sinuous runner.
Guscott. Lovely strike from Jerry Guscott. Lazy swing of the boot, but the ball travelled.
Yeah, that was good play from the Lions. Mike Catt fires those missed ones to Guscott, and if there's space, then he'll run, and if there's not, he'll just fire those big diagonal kicks, giving themselves options. That's good play.
27 minutes gone then. Dalton. Up went Erasmus. And Van Stokveg on the crash ball. Durant against Tom Smith, the two number ones in opposition. Teichmann. De Beer. There it is again. Here's Jenkins. Got it. Super catch. Let him go.
Oh, a tremendous kick from Jannie de Beer, and a very brave catch from Bentley, from Neil Jenkins. I just caught Bentley and Dalton having a little kerfuffle there. That'll settle Jenkins, because he was very uncomfortable under the bomb last week, but that was a tremendous take. And not a half bad kick.
Now both players receiving treatment, I think, are okay. Gary Teichmann's back on his feet, but there's Jenkins standing firm. Dalton was right in his face, wasn't he? But there's still a Lions player on the field, down on the field injured. I think it's Tony Underwood. I can't see him in the left wing position. And just to confirm that, Neil Banks popped out of this line out to join the back. So Underwood's down, and Austin Healy, who used to be a winger, of course, before his conversion to scrum half, waits to possibly enter the fray at an earlier point than he did last week, when he came on right at the death.
Well, that's a bonus for the Lions. South Africa had control of the ball, but knocked it forward. And some fancy footwork there from Mark Regan. Caught the head of his own man, Paul Wallace. It's fast and it's furious. You get the feeling, Miles, South Africa don't want to lose 3-0.
But the Lions are going to lose the services of Tony Underwood. Well, he waited patiently for this chance in a test match, and it's over far too quickly for him. And Tim Stimpson is preparing to come on.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. There's Austin Healy, who used to play wing, but he hasn't played there for a couple of years now. And Stimpson, as a fullback, understands the positional demands probably a lot better. Cruel blow for Tony Underwood, though. Stimpson will go straight onto the left wing, though. He's got good pace. Jenkins will stay at fullback.
Thank you. Stand up. Stand up.
Well, it's not been too much of a problem for the referee so far. The engaging of the two front rows, but it might be now.
There's a bit of pressure coming through on the Lions at the moment.
Stand up, push back. Keep it up. Hold it. Hold it. Oh, well, he's not
Tom
dead.
Smith against Darby to run on this near side.
Wait for the crowd, Fred. Don't
And
crowd.
there's Tony Underwood.
Hold it up. Hold it.
Always a sad sight.
Hold it.
Yes, he's had a good tour as well, and he was playing well.
Put it in straight.
Dangerous runner. They'll miss him.
Behind the ball, scrum now.
Scrum's buckling again, but it stayed up that time. Cat gives pass to Guscott. Bentley just had to stop and take it. That's the reason why the move lost its impetus. Clawed back by Wainwright, and Bentley's got it again. He'll have to do it by himself though here, and he was a marked man by Rousseau. Super tackle from Rousseau, is straight back on his feet to continue get the foot in, but only by the skin of their teeth.
Well, that's some brilliant defence from South Africa. Bentley tried it on the left, and Andre Snyman put him down. And then he switched side. You can't question his work rate, but Peter Rousseau flattened him.
And Stimpson should have been penalised there. He was playing the ball, but he wasn't on his feet. I think Wainwright was okay, but there's Bentley. Oh, what a tackle.
Lined him up and sent him back. Got outside Oz Durant without too much problem, but Peter Rousseau was a slightly different kettle of fish.
Cat, little show again. Stimpson.
Erasmus so quick on his feet there, and then in comes who else? Scott Gibbs with that swinging right arm. But South Africa were in a very good situation. A timely intervention to save what could have been an overlap.
Confusion there and a knock on.
A rare respite for the Lions. They've certainly put far more width on the game as they promised to do. It's working with Cat, but the South African defence at the moment is excellent. But they're giving themselves a chance.
Free kick given. Van der Westhuizen. Erasmus looks the part, doesn't he?
Run away! Long speed, push back!
The back row are playing well for South Africa.
Dalton.
Push back!
Stradham's got it.
Let's have it, let's have it up!
Ron goes in.
On the deck.
As the ball was on the floor and South Africa were going forward. It's their put into this scrum in this intoxicating and breathless game. They're almost being smothered by it.
Certainly the attack's being smothered by great defence. And it's important from the Lions' point of view to hold out here. They don't want South Africa going in to half-time interval with a 14-point lead.
Get your feet under your red,
Paul Wallace
get your feet under your flag.
under pressure at the moment.
You're stiff on the ground.
Darby Taron making an impact with Dalton.
Bring it back.
You wonder why Dalton was left out. Such a galvanising force, isn't he, in the South African type 5.
And there's the drive too early and the free kick. Neil back. Dawson. Cat. In behind Rousseau. As Stuart mentioned earlier, he's also a fullback and it shows. But there Bennett missing from Van der Westhuizen. And it's the Lions scrum. And also an injury.
2 front rows, please.
Looking dangerous, aren't they? Peter Rousseau has had an exceptionally good first
because
half
if we do,
hour.
it'll be a free kick every scrum. You get straight, you pop your shoulder out, you stay straight. You keep the scrum up, please. Don't go down again, you understand? You're the 2 men in the frame. Let's get it right, please. Feet under you, let's get it right.
Durant and Wallace being fingered there by the referee. The referee, in fact, called a timeout there in order to issue his instructions. 3 minutes until the interval. Dawson, and it players up on that far side, but here's Bentley. And there's quite a punch-up taking place on that far touchline. Not sure the referee's seen it. Cat, you'll see it now. Guscott, Delalio, Jenkins, and Jenkins has got to wend his way through his own players there. Did something a little unsavoury.
Lost forward.
Well, it's a scrum to South Africa. Surely the touch judge is going to move in and have a word with Wayne Eriksson. Look at the punches flying in here.
Well, Dalton there is sending in a lot on the floor, and the Lions react. Wallace doesn't stand for that, and Otto and Davidson, unsavoury stuff. But it was James Dalton, remember, he got sent off in the World Cup. No doubt he was sending them in.
Green. Okay, number 1, Green. Red.
Well, Durant,
Green captain.
Received the lecture moments ago.
As you can assume, I've had enough. Penalty against you for punching. You're on a caution. If you infringe again, you'll leave the field. Do you understand? Gentlemen, I'm sick of the front row. Listen, I'm talking to you. Get the front row right. If it doesn't go right, we'll be penalties all day. Let them know, please. Penalty against you.
Well, there's a stark warning to both sets of forwards, and in particular Oz Durant. And the Lions have been awarded a penalty. Good time to get one as well.
Did you see that Teichmann finger pointed at Johnson? This is tough. Problem is, Wallace is trying to slip the bindings so that Durant's weight won't come through, and Durant has had enough, and it's all gone off. That's pretty gruesome. Look at Dalton working that right hand. Oh, no.
Rather ironic that Paul Wallace should act as a peacemaker in the end.
From punch bag to peacemaker. I tell you what, Miles, no one in this front row is going to make it to the UN today.
This place is fizzing. Jenkins. Oh, what a kick! And he's broken the individual points record for a Lions player in a Test series. Gavin Hastings' record has gone, and Neil Jenkins thoroughly deserves it. 39 now in this series, and 9 today, and that means just a 4-point gap.
And you will not see a better strike of a rugby ball than that from Jenkins. He's had a really good first half. His whole game has been excellent.
Taken by Davison. Wainwright's there as well. Wainwright, who didn't expect to be playing in this match until the very last minute. South Africa penalised for killing the ball. Martin Johnson wants to make sure that Andre Venter is going to take a step back.
He will not take a step back. And I tell you what, Martin Johnson, a man who leads from the front, he won't either. Watch out.
Well, the Lions' recovery is far from complete, but it's been an excellent effort. They were 13-0 down, but that man, Neil Jenkins, with 3 penalties, and now an injury time in this first half, has given the Lions every reason to believe that they can go on and make it 3-0. Remember, they've finished nearly all matches on tour, and certainly the 2 Test matches, as the stronger and fitter side. Taken by back, that was forward. Marginal, but it was.
Forward pass.
Pity, that was good play. Super line outtake from Davidson, who's recovered well from his early knock.
Wait, please.
The pass from Wallace, yeah, that's forward. Now back to the scrum, the Inferno.
Don't touch the scrum then.
De Beer. Oh, pressure put on. Montgomery, it was Mike Catt who'd gone up on De Beer, but it might work for South Africa. Van der Westhuizen. Out it goes to Venter. Well taken off the ground by Van der Westhuizen as well.
Let it go.
Venter again. De Beer. They're encouraged by the crowd to run it. Montgomery, but there the duo of Guscott and Gibbs again.
Let it come now, let it come, Green! Let it ball, push back!
And it's with Dalton. De Beer. Penetrating kick.
Lions will be looking at the clock. They'd settled for a 4-point deficit at half-time after that harrowing first 20 minutes or so. Good kick from De Beer. Picked his spot. But on that instance he was too slow and Kat's charge down could well have resulted in a score. It bounced the right way for South Africa, but the Lions are back in this game.
Big line out this. Regan, Johnson. The Lions will just want to keep it tight here. Nothing fancy, nothing frilly.
But that is excellent play from the Lions pack. A marvellous throw, a great take. And look at the body angles and drive from them here. Good play.
Cat. He didn't have much time. Consequently, it's with Rousseau. We're surely now inside the final minute of this first half. Cat, course for the mark. Could have got a penalty actually because they tried to tackle him in the air, but he wasn't going to hang around. And look at the Lions try and move it through Guscott to Jenkins, and Jenkins is blazing upfield. He finds Neil back onto Scott Gibbs. He stands his ground. Cat takes it on. Oh, that's magnificent rugby. Can they keep it going? Out to Bentley. Onto Smith. It's gone forward now. Crying shame.
Cat started it at the end. Smith and Wallace on the overlap. That was the best moment of the first half. Brilliant rugby.
There goes the siren, which ends a quite amazing first half in this final test match. Gary Teichmann's side lead. Martin Johnson knows that the Lions are coming right back into this. Montgomery got the try, but it's Neil Jenkins with 3 more well-struck penalties in an incredibly pressure environment, and a record-breaking moment for him, which sees the Lions just trailing by 4 at the interval.
There's a unique golf challenge on Sky Sports 1 next Sunday. The Duke of York and Nick Faldo representing England against Scotland's Colin Montgomery and our own Gavin Hastings. That's next Sunday at 1 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. Right now, though, it's half-time in South Africa. Ellis Park, Johannesburg, the venue for today's third and final test between South Africa and the British Lions. South Africa leading by 13 points to 9. Let's see what happens now in the second half as we return to the stadium to join Stuart Barnes and Miles Harrison.
40 minutes of the tour left. And what a game we've had so far. Yes, we've had mistakes, but sometimes you have to ask why those mistakes are being caused.
Yeah, the Lions really have come back hard at the Springboks. Great pace, great tenacity in this game. And you feel there will be more tries. Have a change at half-time as well. I just wonder what effect that will have.
Yes, a change we hear for the Lions. Yes, Percy Montgomery got a first half try, but Jeremy Guscott has not come out for the second half. He's got an arm injury. Gary Teichmann has some strapping of his own, but it's Guscott off and Alan Bateman has come on. There is Bateman. He's waited for this moment.
32 years, I believe, Miles. A tremendous tour. Can this be Bateman's 40 minutes? I wonder. Will it belong to another Welshman, Jenkins? What a 40 we got in front.
So here we go, Jenkins. The Lions having clawed their way back into this match. They've been used to trailing in this series. They've always left it late to come back. Both in Cape Town with the Dawson and Tate tries, and then in Durban with the Jenkins penalties and Guscott drop goal. This is back off to Cat. inside his Welsh partner Bateman.
Number 7.
That was too static.
Tom Smith.
Let it come now.
Dawson. Stimpson. You remember replaced Tony Underwood in the first half.
Let it come now, Rassie.
Smith. Cat. Lively start from the Lions. Delanio, Wainwright, the two back row men. And there's the other, Neil Back. Cat. Didn't strike it well. Bobbling around dangerously. Van der Westhuizen loves it when it opens up. Rousseau. Bennett. Ripped off him by Bentley. Well played, John Bentley.
Captain everywhere as well. Martin Johnson involved too. Lions turned it over.
Gibbs. Back. Looking calm under pressure, but the pressure was always building. Montgomery's going. Now it's a race between Montgomery and Jenkins. Getting across his Bateman. Ball needs to go out for the Lions. Wainwright has it. Stimpson, just get rid of it. Had to be the call.
Well, that's one of life's mysteries. How on earth did South Africa not score there? Jenkins really was struggling for gas against Percy Montgomery. And this time, Delalio, flawless first half, hit so hard by Fenter that the ball goes loose. And look at Montgomery's pace against Jenkins. He's leaving him for dead. Nothing Bateman can do. Lions lucky to get away with that. Like Cat struggling now. And that would be a blow.
Well, simply he has to stay on, doesn't he?
Ah, yes, because Cat is doing everything that the Lions management wanted. He's changing the point of attack with those big missed passes. He's very influential, and today he's one of the men who might just get them back into this game.
I suppose what would happen, Jenkins would move to fly half, Stimpson would go full back, Healy to wing, but it's not what the Lions want to be doing.
No, it would lose the shape, the whole formation would go.
Fenter with the catch. Plenty of muscle out there.
Still up. Let it go, Red, let it go!
Really have clashed today, these two sets of forwards, De Beer and Skoltbeek.
Cross forward, red ball.
And the ball was knocked on.
Red ball. At the bottom, red ball.
An unforced error there from the Springbok midfield. Complicated little move, Jannie De Beer changing the angle. Scissors ball, but it's a bad pass behind Jannie van Schalkwyk. And the ball just pops forward.
Thank you.
Well, that was always the doubt about De Beer's play. How would he release the backs? Delalio. Back. Wainwright was the link, then it was on from Johnson to Dawson. Now it's Bentley.
That was tremendous play from the British and Irish Lions back row. Marvellous footballing skill.
Catch. Gibbs. Seeking out the opposition. He's got some heat detector on him, I think. Bateman. Back. Dawson. Catch. Bentley. And the knock-on from Regan.
Green scrum.
But you have to admire the willingness of the Lions to keep that ball in hand. It is their route to success, and they know it.
And you've also got to hand it to the host side. South Africa really are defending brilliantly. Cad, lovely little switch with Bentley, but he's meeting a green wall, and there's Regan knocking it forward.
Let's go.
Teichmann into Cat. Penalty. Pretty obvious one as well.
No, that's bad discipline from Michael Catt. No need for that. The ball was slow, and now Jannie De Beer will force them back. There's another casualty of the battle there, Gary Teichmann.
Make a mark, please. Let's go. Make the mark. Let's go.
The referee wants to get on with it.
Let's go.
To think that some people this week were talking about the Lions having their minds on the plane. It was never going to be the case. The commitment right the way through this tour has been exemplary.
No, if their minds were on the plane, they would be in serious trouble. Self-preservation at stake. This South African team are fired up. Sure, they're making a few errors, but they really are playing at some pace. The Lions still in this game.
South Africa's throw into the line out because it was a penalty. And the Lions did move away there, didn't leave a gap, and it's a free kick.
Stand up!
Van der Westhuizen really can't afford to lose another score here today with South Africa firing. Osdurant, Van der Westhuizen, Teichmann, Van Schalkwyk lost it. And he lost it because of the weight of tackle.
Yeah, well played, Rob Wainwright there. Put everything into that tackle as South Africa attacked again. Switching directions well. Neil Back couldn't stop Durant crossing the gain line. There's Van Schalkwyk, and it's Jeremy Davidson in. What a tremendous tour he's had.
Dawson. Up steps Rousseau and nearly makes it. Oh, he's still got it. Great effort from Rousseau. Montgomery, Bennett, Snyman. And if he gets away so strong, have to snare him straight away. Van der Westhuizen, same could be said of him. He's going to score. Van der Westhuizen. Absolutely remarkable how this man keeps on doing it. Try after try, scored in that fashion.
Ellis Park is alive. Van der Westhuizen, not had a great series, but his power is quite awesome. Dawson can't do anything, Bateman can't, and Jenkins, well, he just doesn't have the pace. When you've got a man like Van der Westhuizen, look at the body angles. Dawson's the man who misses the tackle, then it's the acceleration away, the swerve on the outside, and the Northern Transvaal scrum half has done what he's done so many times for his country. Wonderful play.
And De Beer to take the kick. Sumptuous try from Joost van der Westhuizen.
Now it's going to be a test of character for these Lions. They rocked South Africa with the way they came back, but the South Africans started this half well and could go 11 points clear.
Jannie De Beer. 3 out of 4. Will it be 4 out of 5? If it is, then there's starting to be a bit too much daylight between the two teams. 18-9 at the moment. De Beer with the scars to show for his efforts. He's got another. It's 29.
Well, Dawson the hero, but this time the villain. Just watch him now. This is where it happens. The tackle there is missed, and Van der Westhuizen will just go, and he's away. Great acceleration, but Dawson scored in that bottom right-hand corner in the first test. But it was his mistake that let his opposite number in this time.
Now, they've done it before. They will have to do it again. But that is not the restart that they wanted. The British and Irish Lions, that's a scrum back on halfway.
That is the last thing they needed. South Africa with their tails up now. No doubt they'll drive the Lions back.
It's been a match rich with attacking flavour. Can the Lions Lions, certainly on the back foot now, come up with an attacking response in this environment. It's going to be tough.
And Jannie de Beer just getting some rhythm there. They know with an 11-point lead they can drive the Lions back. And they're defending so well it's going to be very hard to strike, but the Lions do have match winners in their team.
There's one of them, Martin Johnson. And look at those forwards go again. Tom Smith, right in there where it hurts. Penalty comes.
Here it is.
Cat, Bateman, Jenkins, Bentley waits, and Bentley goes, cutting back inside.
Stay up, Green, stay up!
Dawson. Now the penalty seems to have gone here to South Africa. That was the way the referee initially indicated. He also had to sort out another Barney.
Against you, straight up.
Martin
Against
Johnson.
you, straight over the top, killing the ball.
Lions captain accused of killing the ball, but this is ferocious. There it is. Johnson goes over the top. There's the penalty. Tide is turning against them, Miles.
Yes, but one thing's for certain. This Lions side will endeavour not to get stranded.
Well, they won't lie down, not unless they're put on the ground by some of this Springbok tackling.
Big 5 minutes or so coming up now. South Africa could crush the life out of the Lions with another score. De Beer's drop goal! Never going through.
But he is looking confident now. Forwards are laying the platform and he's starting to drive the Lions back. Jannie de Beer is doing exactly what he was picked for. Neil Jenkins recovered from a quite huge hit from Peter Rassie.
Henry Honeyball. And off comes Percy Montgomery. Now that looks to me to be a tactical decision.
Well, with an 11-point lead and Henry Honeyball's defensive skill, it's going to make it harder still for the Lions.
Many people rate Honeyball as a centre more than a fly half. Well, let's see how he performs in that centre role, straight into action.
Luckily, straight into Bateman and Gibbs.
Van der Westhuizen lost it. But it was tapped on by a Lion hand or paw.
Not the place to run, Alan Bateman and Scott Gibbs. Well, there's men over the top there. It's back who's given the knock-on against him. The Springbok men did dive over.
De Beer testing out this Lions defence again. Jenkins wasn't going to make that. Stimpson got it.
Another excellent high ball from the fly half.
Tom Smith, who was never going to kick. Dawson, catch, chance to move it. Bateman's got it. He's got Jenkins outside him. Still Alan Bateman. Jenkins, Bentley. Oh, he just tried to find a way back inside. It was a little bit cruel the way the space kept closing down on him. Dawson slings it anywhere. Tom Smith's got it. Now, Delalio on to Stimpson. Stimpson to go. Tracked by Snyman. Delalio's there. How did he stay there? Incredible effort. Can they get the result? Tom Smith.
They come now.
Great defence from South Africa, though. They've got a net across this pitch and they've stolen it.
Yep, they've ripped it back. Trouble here. Erasmus gives him with a challenge. So was Wallace the prop.
Let it go.
Delalio Joe says, I'm on my feet to the referee. Bennett, Teichmann, opening up all over the field here. Teichmann again.
Let it go!
Slung out for Van der Westhuizen, Erasmus, and eventually the knock-on. Well, we've seen it all now.
Oh, it's breathtaking stuff. Just Phil, South Africa lost a little bit of shape there. Great hit from Davidson again, and Smith's hand knocked it backwards. But I feel with the men they had, they should have kept it in hand, and that was a speculative long pass there from Rousseau, which he didn't need to make. Keep the ball alive. They had the Lions defence stretch. It's not on. Take the tackle.
Steady. Hold it.
Piers, I'm just going to tell you.
Not sure how much that phaser play could have gone on. Free kick, Paul Wallace. Van der Westhuizen, Erasmus. The great thing is, neither side wants to drop the pace.
Offside, number 4.
Trespassing again, the Lions. Got to stop to throwing these penalties away. It's costing them dear.
Yes, Jannie de Beer, lethal form with a boot. Off the ground and out of hand, and he's punishing them. 20 points to 9. If this goes over, it's 2 converted tries to even draw level. A big kick.
De Beer, who before this match scored over 100 points in 9 matches this South African season. That's a good return. He's shown that he's had the nerve. Oh, as close as you can get. To run it back. Bateman's going. Bateman's still going. Tap tackle. Take a bow, Alan Bateman. He won't do it yet though. Tom Smith and Paul Wallace, the props. That one's Wallace.
Number 10, roll away. There's the ball.
They're everywhere. Dawson.
Stay up, Green, stay up.
Jenkins. Cat. Jenkins tries to find some reserves from somewhere. Ball out on the full.
Well, Alan Bateman started that passage of play with a brilliant break, but I just wonder whether he shouldn't give her that ball. Teichmann came in with the tackle, but I thought there was an overlap. Instead of a score, the Springboks now drive the Lions back. And for the first time, I thought they looked a little bit weary.
I agree. Signs of tiredness in the Springbok camp. But they won't be tired in this half of the field. They certainly won't let it show.
Still going. Get out now, get out.
Lions have got to hang on in there. De Beer, Hannibal. Decision to run back was from Snyman. I think it was the right one as well. Lions were drifting across well, and what Snyman has done is given his side and Osterrand a chance to restart the ignition. Hands on the deck.
Up you get, boys. Up you get. Push back.
Osterrand driving in into the heart of the Lions. That time, the tackling on the gain line not up to the mark. The big ox put on his backside last week, this time administering his own driving play. Smith can't do anything, he's through Johnson. And by the time Cat gets him, he's gone too far. Johnson there, hands on the ground. Captain has given too many penalties away this afternoon.
May have taken its toll there on Big Oz.
I don't think he'll want to go off at the moment though, Miles.
I wouldn't like to have to tell him he had to go off. Just about a quarter of the match left. On its way, doesn't hit Wolf this time. The ball sweeps through the posts, and South Africa inch ever closer to victory.
Well, they've done well in the second half of South Africa. The Lions came back in the second quarter of the game. The momentum was swinging their way, but South Africa have picked the game up. It's a game they must win, and it's starting to show that iron will.
Ball knocked on, then it hits the referee, so he'll go back for the original knock-on.
Neil back frustrated there, because there was a little bit of space. Now the Lions have got to break down this well-organised South African defence. Let's remember, they haven't scored a try for what? 140 minutes plus.
Steady. Lock speed.
Yes, they relied on the boot in the second test. Delalio and Back just couldn't combine.
Knock on.
Looks like an odd decision really to attack in that back row area. But the problem is that South Africa's wide defence is so good, they've got to do something to suck them in. That's why they attack there. But the weight of tackle is forcing the British and Irish mistakes. Oz Durant battling, and I think he is coming off now.
Yes, battling for the final time. Adrian Garvey's come on to win his 9th cap.
Mind the ball, scrum half.
And straight into that scrum. De Beer, charged down by Cat, on to Gibbs. Now who can stop Scott Gibbs?
Stay up, Green, stay up!
Well, the answer, the South African cover, which was quite superb and alive to the threat.
Off your feet, Green man!
But it's a penalty.
Green man!
That's the second time Mike Cat's aggressive defence has led to problems. 2 charge downs, but it was tremendous defence from South Africa. 3 of them there.
Cat, not even a thought about kicking that one. They need a couple of tries and a couple of conversions to get on level terms. This is Dawson.
Roll away, Green, tackle off! Push back!
Back, off to Delalio. Wainwright.
Let him go! Green man,
Bodies lying on the wrong side. South African ones.
Line, there.
Dawson doesn't want to hang around. Matt Dawson. Regan goes in. Meters short.
Red scrum, here it is.
The Lions are going to get the put in though, and that means that Mark Regan must have got that ball on the floor.
Not quite as far as he'd have liked, but this could well be the Lions' last chance. Dawson sniping, great tackling, and Regan comes in. Lions might be lucky to get that decision. I can't quite see how he got that down, but 14 points down with just 18 minutes or so left. They have to score a converted try from this situation if they're to save this match.
Stand up. The scrum
Have to
stays up,
score,
Green, tight head.
and also
The
here
scrum
have to
stays
maintain
up.
their discipline.
Wait, please. Wait.
Yeah, they must keep the ball. They simply must. They cannot take a risk. They can't throw a long pass to no one. It's got to be quality. It's got to be disciplined.
Put it in, Red.
They've worked so hard on this scrum. during the tour. It was a weak point early on, but they eradicated those problems, and now they look for that line. Back off to Dawson. Dawson's going. Dawson's scoring. Now we've got a game on.
A chink of light. Fabulous footwork from the Northampton scrum half. Just watch a little show there. Jannie de Beer, Dalton, and thank you. Anything Van der Vesthuizen can do, so can I. Beautiful footwork, lovely two steps. That is a quality try. Brilliant.
The second exquisite score from Matt Dawson in the series. Jenkins, it's over. And they've reduced that gap to 7.
Still a long way to go. That's just given them a glimmer of hope.
27 minutes gone in this second half.
They simply must win this restart. They must drive back into South African territory and re-establish an attacking platform.
A frenzied atmosphere now at Ellis Park.
Let it come now, Drew, let it come!
It's difficult to see how the crowd could produce any more noise. Dawson, the try scorer. That was too close to Rousseau. Russell Bennett posing that problem again. Tyrone was there.
Stand up.
And the referee
Touch judge.
again wants a word. Because the touch judge is in.
Push away, please.
Number 6 screen. Stamping on the shoulder.
Tremendous counter-tackle, Russell Bennett. Sinuous mover.
It's a South African player who's being pulled out as we watch this. And that player is Andre Venter.
Stamping on the shoulder, away from the ball. You're on a caution. If you repeat the infringement, you'll leave the field. Do you understand? Very clear. Caution, skipper. Here.
Well, there's a few of these players now on the cliff edge. I think we're going to get a good look at it here. Andre Venter on this near side. Oh yes, clear illegal use of the boot. Straight up and down.
But you know, I have to say, there's no doubt Rob Wainwright was also holding him and stopping him going forward and playing. He had a right to be annoyed, and I don't think that was aimed at the head.
No, I don't think it was aimed at the head. But it wasn't a rough, was it? It was a stamp.
Oh yes.
Dawson, Delalio. Cat, Bentley. Oh, round one. Kicked on by Bateman. I'll tell you what, if the Lions get out of this, they haven't got Ian McGeechan as their coach, they've got Midas.
Talk about team spirit. Every one of them down there. Could win a game with mind games and positive thinking. This Lions team would be home. But South Africa's defence holding firm.
Bring it up, please, Green. There's the mark.
I thought you were going to say Houdini, Miles. You surprise me every day.
Now there's been a change at hooker for South Africa. Drotsky is wearing 20. He's come on for Dalton, and that is De Beer, and that's safety first.
Lions have settled for that. It's not a long kick. It's not a good line out. Jannie de Beer under pressure all the time. They were never in control of that ball. It's an interesting choice. Obviously Dalton tiring, he hasn't played that much rugby, but he's given them a good platform and he's been very aggressive.
We're really starting to see now the use of substitutions, especially in test matches.
I'm not certain that hooking change is one I'd have gone along with.
Stolen at the tail by Erasmus. And the Vesthuizen knew that Dawson was going to be there so quickly. De Beer, Bentley, chance to run it back. John Bentley. And he retained the ball. Smith. Neil back. Needs some support. Where is it? Wallace. Johnson. Cat. Now they're really moving it. Bateman linking. Just wouldn't go to hand. Lions will throw to the line out. We've got 9 minutes left plus injury time.
Play on, thanks. Play on.
Well, that attack told you everything about the Lions on this tour. Neil back, Wallace in support. Then who? Martin Johnson with a lovely pass. Cat, it was a chance.
Get up, please. Take him off. Take him off.
Jenkins not quite flat enough, but brilliant interlinking play with the forwards. Martin Johnson carrying the ball so much more this tour than we've seen in the Five Nations. And if that pass had just been a yard deeper, well, they had half a chance at a 2-on-1.
Another change. Justin Swart has come on.
Back you go, Tom.
And Jannie de Beer, we saw that cut earlier, that's opened up. So an enforced change there with a blood injury, so Hannibal has moved straight into fly half. And the Lions squeeze their way on. Dawson adds his weight, also the vocal encouragement. Keep going, he screams to the pack. The referee says the maul's still on the move, it most certainly is.
Ball's coming, stay there.
Now it's back with Dawson. Digs it out. Cat, good pickup. Gibbs to Bateman. Wainwright, risky pass, but it had to be done. Because South Africa were flooding through. Penalty, presumably for over the top.
In on the side, number 5.
Jeremy Davidson
you got it.
Didn't come in from behind the hindmost player, came in at the side.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Lack of discipline there from Jeremy Davidson, who has had a tremendous game and a tremendous tour. But you know, we've talked about the Lions' defence, but South Africa's has been equally impressive today. Just 5 turnovers in the match. A good effort from both teams. Especially when you think how much ambition there's been. Van Schalkwyk on Gibbs. Centre on centre, hard stuff there.
I think that's where Tyson got one in the face. Nothing intentional about it, just a stray boot. May well have been his own player. Fritz van Heerden's come on. And Schalkwyk, Sneeman. We know all about his pace when he gets away. Van der Westhuizen, Hannibal, Erasmus. And he knows all about international rugby now. What a debut he's made. Hannibal, driven through the middle by Rousseau. It's out to Sneeman. Bentley with a tackle. The try has been given.
And a tremendous score for South Africa. Belonged to Peter Rousseau, the Western Province winger. He made that try. He has had an extremely impressive afternoon's work. And Andre Sneeman is the beneficiary. But the Lions' defence unplugged there. Bateman burnt out. Cat gets the tack tackle, but that's a brilliant pass under pressure. And despite all of Bentley's efforts, Sneeman is always going to get in there. Tremendous play. Change of pace there. Electric. Cat got in just in the nick of time, but the damage was done. That's a very fine try.
And Henry Hannibal has taken over the kicking duties with De Beer off the field. suppose that could well be that. Miss from Hannibal. Really hasn't got any form in his kicking. But I just wonder how much the Lions rue giving away the initial penalty, which put them back on the defensive.
Yeah, discipline and defence have been key words. Discipline let them down with a penalty, and then the defence was split asunder by the pace of Rousseau.
Well, it's been South Africa who have scored the tries again. Dawson's nipped in for the Lions, but the difference today, South Africa have also kicked their goals, and because of that, they've got a healthy lead.
There's also been more pattern to their play, no doubt about that. You can see what they're trying to do. It was just all forward power in the last 2 weeks. This time there's been a balance to their play.
There will be a fair bit of injury time, but the Lions have got to strike now. Jenkins, Bentley, 4 or 5 green shirts crowd him out, but it still keeps going. Stimpson. Let it go, Green, let it go! Dawson, Cat, Bentley again, but Hannibal wanted that tackle. Gibbs, he wanted that. Let him go, Green! Another Gibbs bombardment. Smith. 3 minutes plus injury time. Gibbs gets it away. If they're going down in this game, the Lions, they're going down fighting. Remember, it's their series. Dawson. Cat. Wainwright. And Delalio on his shoulder to help him out. And that is why the ball has come back again to Cat. Back. Neil back. Ooh, just couldn't get the ball away. Regan's taken it, but it was clearly knocked forward.
I am bruised just watching this from the commentary box. What a battle this has been. South Africa's defence has been outstanding. The Lions can't put the pace on it. And look at that. Van der Westhuizen in big on back.
It's a testing kick. Jenkins. And there making his mark, Justin Swart. And the penalty has been given for Jenkins' reaction.
Hold it. You missed him, but you still swung it. Give it to yourself. There it is, 10.
The decision has to be made here by the standing captain, Joost van der Westhuizen.
That's the most pathetic punch I've seen thrown on tour, but it was ill-discipline. I think Neil Jenkins was disappointed with himself. It was a bad option. He didn't want to go into touch, and Justin Swart controlled that. Ill display of petulance. But I think Jenkins now knows that the day is done. Today will belong to South Africa.
The day will, the series won't. But here in Ellis Park, well, I was going to say that could well be the crushing blow. It isn't. We're drifting towards injury time, inside the final minute.
Get across the line.
There'll be 4 minutes or so of injury time. Here's Jenkins. Well, there should be.
Venter everywhere this afternoon. Tremendous effort from the below form Free State flanker, but not today.
Van der Westhuizen. Still there for the scrum half. Hannibal, and it's beautifully along the line out to Rousseau. Are they going to try to finish off? They are! South Africa have something to show for their efforts in the series.
That's a tremendous way to finish this series. Rousseau made one for Snyman. This time, Snyman makes it. What a beautiful pass. Bedded in, perfect. And Rousseau, he cuts inside 2 tacklers through Jenkins for a quite magnificent score. But the pass of Andre Snyman was sublime. That's beautiful. And Bennett's ball there. That's high-quality back play. The Lions, for once, left for dead. South Africa deserve this.
You can feel the lives surging back into South African rugby as Hannibal lands the conversion. And what will make the home supporters delighted is the younger players who've been shining through. Bennett and Rousseau.
Yes, those two have been quite exceptional. Snyman's looked good when he's come into the centre. It's been a solid performance from South Africa.
And this is the most points that the Lions have ever conceded against South Africa. 35 now on the board against them, to the Lions 16, and I don't think South Africa have stopped there.
Vengeance is mine. Swanepoel on for debut.
Yes, the Free State scrum half is on. Swanepoel, Van Schalkwyk. What was I saying about Midas? Golden boot this time from Van Schalkwyk.
It's happening today, isn't it? Last 2 tests, those balls were going out on the full. This time, landing inches inside.
Austin Healey will get another taste of Lions test action as he replaces Matt Dawson. Dawson the try scorer. Healey now the defender. Just seconds remaining.
And the Lions really have been overpowered this half. They've been brave, but South Africa determined not to lose 3-0, surging forward.
Swanepoel. That's the Lions 22. Swanepoel is the try line that they've got in mind. South Africa, Van Schalkwyk, Trotsky. Look at the power, it's quite awesome. Venter drove on. Swanepoel. The siren is gone. This will be the last move. And the referee calls it in. South Africa have again avoided the whitewash on home turf. They did it against New Zealand last year. They've done it against the British and Irish Lions this year. Few words there from Martin Johnson. Not now though, he will realise and he will reflect on a highly successful series.
And there, for me, one of the men of the match, Peter Rousseau. It's been a good day for South Africa's youngsters. But Johnson, he can be proud of his team. They've come to South Africa and they've won the series. They'd have settled for 2-1 when they left Britain, Miles.
Yes, they would. And it's important on a day like this, much as we must praise South Africa for a quite superb performance, we must also remember that it's the Lions who have won the series 2-1.
Yeah, Van der Westhuizen came back to form today. Crucial try. Just too much power for the Lions. Mike Catt, he had a good game. Bentley tried his best, but it wasn't to be. South Africa just too strong today.
It has been a highly professional tour from the Lions. Just couldn't finish it with a test victory at Ellis Park. But as you can see, Graham Simmons is readying himself to have a word with those Lions players. But before all of that, they gather round for one last show of team spirit.
Well, that's been one of the things that's marked this tour. Tremendous spirit. They've been together from the first day in Weybridge. They came here to do one thing and one thing only: win the Test series. I remember Tim Rutber said that to me before Mpumalanga, and they've done it.
Yes, they've been in this together. England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. The Lions so special. And here's Mike Catt with Graham.
Miles, thank you very much. A little huddle here for the boys. As John Bentley were telling you in there, we were the winners. Does it feel like that at the moment, though?
Yeah, I suppose it was one of those games really that we came out, we played, I think, some very, very good rugby. I think the first half we just threw the ball away and we had opportunities to score tries. But fair play to the Box, they did exceptionally well, rounded off all their moves, and you know, it's great to play again, and it's been awesome. It's been a great tour.
Their defence was awesome, but you gave away a lot of penalties early on, which didn't help the cause.
Yeah, that, and obviously they got a goal kick at our Jannie. We always knew he'd got to kick goals. Had a second half as well, just mindless penalties when we're in crucial positions where we could have scored, but you know, it's the name of the game. It's the way life goes, but we've won it 2-1, so series in the bag.
The ambition was terrific today. I mean, just the execution on occasion wasn't quite right, but the frustrating thing was the door was open for you there just in the second half, in the beginning of it, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, there again, opportunities were there, and if we'd taken them, I think we probably could have beaten them, but you know, fair dues to them. They did everything well, and they scored points.
Well done, Mike. Thanks for talking to us.
Mike Catt, South African born. He knew all about the strength of Jannie de Beer and his kicking at goal. They played against each other at school and under 21 level. And Stuart, de Beer did make his mark today, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He gave them structure. And for once, men like Wallace didn't have enough. But Cotton, 2-1.
Yes, that's the message from Frank Cotton, 2-1. And it's important to keep that at the forefront of the mind.
This Cotton has everything to be proud about. Tremendous effort.
Take a break first before we go back to him.
Ian.
It has been a highly professional tour, hasn't it?
Rob, Cat.
And perhaps we'll talk about that in just a moment. But first of all, we'll go back down to the pitch and have a word with Ian McGeechan.
Miles, thank you very much. Geach, mixed emotions at the moment, I should think.
Yeah, we let the game get away from us in that last 15 minutes. I thought 23-16 and one or two more chances, and I think we had them rocking. But to be fair to South Africa, they played well, you know, in the second half, and unfortunately we gave them a little bit too much room, and they looked, you know, they showed how good they can be.
Just talking to Mike Catt a second ago and saying the ambition today was phenomenal, but there were one or too many mistakes, weren't there?
Yeah, but you know, you've got to have let these players play, and they were so close sometimes to just finishing the thing off, and you know, you can't criticise them for that. I hope, you know, now from here on in, these boys will keep playing with ambition, because that's the only way forward for us, and that's the only way we'll compete in the next World Cup.
Try and sum up, I know it's difficult at the moment, Ian, but just try and sum up this tour. You've been on, what, 3 Lions tours now? Try and sum up this one in comparison to the others and what it's meant to you and the players.
Oh, I think this is the best one ever. I think, without a doubt, the whole unity, the players have been tremendous. You know, and I think we've played rugby which has been closest to our hearts, and you know, to come to South Africa when everybody had written us off and win a series, I think is always going to be very special.
The hair will grow back in, you know.
Ultimately, yeah, sometime.
Good luck to you. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, Graham. Ian McGeechan talking about the attitude of mind of those players and how he hopes they will take that back along with this professional approach which has been so evident here in South Africa. Watching all of this, back in the studio, Dowie Morris, Ian Evans and David Bobin. David.
Thanks very much indeed, Miles. Yes, we are certainly here in the studio in London. Disappointed, I think we have to say, but overall, of course, South Africa have now put some respectability back to their game. And let's not forget they are the world champions, and also let's not forget or lose sight of the fact that the Lions have produced the most incredible performance. They won this series 2-1, and it really has been a quite outstanding achievement. Let's just get the thoughts of Ian Evans, who's fresh back from South Africa. Ian, it wasn't to be in the end, that 3-0 whitewash, but nevertheless, overall, I think we're all proud of them, aren't we? So proud.
Yeah, it's so typical of Ian McGeechan to encapsulate everything in a few words. You know, the way we played, the way we stuck together. You know, I think we captured the hearts really of the public back home in Britain. The way forward for us is to play total rugby. and we tried to do so. Full credit to South Africa. They came back hard in the second half. We had a couple of opportunities, didn't capitalise, but full credit to South Africa. They finished off their moves very, very well.
It wasn't to be the Lions' day, was it, Dowie? But nevertheless, as Jan said, it's sort of everyone has learnt something from this, and rugby, really, in the Northern Hemisphere, has had a tremendous boost in the arm from this.
Definitely. I mean, the lads unfortunately couldn't finish off the moves at 23-16, as was described. They had a chance if one or two balls had again gone to hand. You know, who knows? You could have had a draw and then another drop goal to win the game. They came back. I mean, credit to South Africa. They finished superbly. But I think one of the loveliest moments there is when they all huddled together and the hands came over the top, and Jan will know that's basically what's brought them through. Obviously good coaching. At the end of the day, the spirit that those guys have shown was encapsulated for me just in that moment.
Well, let's cross back to the stadium. We can now hear from the try scorer, Matt Dawson. He's with Graham. As you can hear, we've obviously got a slight problem with Matt Dawson.
Director will present the
we will now stay with the presentation. Hopefully we'll hear from Matt a little later. And Martin Johnson, a giant of a man in every sense. What a series he's had. And a terrific moment for him and the rest of the Lions squad. We saw last week that he does have emotions. He hides them pretty well most of the time, but we saw without doubt it was an emotional moment, wasn't it, to Dowie last week when Jono had just captained the side to that 2-0 win, and I mean, it's a rare sight to see Martin Johnson on the verge of tears.
We did say last week, I mean, I've been lucky enough to play with him and against him, and I've never seen him like that, but credit to the man, he has got a heart. But I think what was nice again then, Jono was straight off the stand to get the cap to the lads. He didn't want any glory himself, straight off the stand. It's a team game, obviously the lads had done it. And there's one sitting next to me here, and I know where he'd rather be, I think, at this moment in time, but, credit to the boys.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that Martin is another player who's had his critics. There were those who said, why should he captain the Lions? He's not the right man. But in fact, it's turned out to be absolutely the right decision.
Oh, spot on. He's led from the front. He's shown, by example, what is necessary to succeed in South Africa.
Yes.
And as Debbie just said, we were there, we won the series based on team spirit. We stuck together through thick and thin, in the face of adversity. And we came through with a series win, and that's what it's all about. And as soon as he got presented with a cup, he went back in amongst of all the players and said, right, this is ours, this is for us, boys.
And I think the Springboks perhaps felt that he was there to be taken, but he was not a man to be underestimated, was he, Martin Johnson?
And he doesn't stand back from any provocations. He'll be there in the thick of it, and you'll never take a step back.
No.
And that's what you need. When you're in South Africa, you can't afford to show that you're intimidated.
Rousseau, the man of the match, we can now hear briefly from him.
Yeah, the guys played well, and we're just glad we won there.
All right, tell us about your performance. You guys seem to be enjoying yourselves out there in that second half.
Yeah, the forwards were giving us a lot of ball, and we were swinging the ball around a lot, so I'm quite happy with the team myself.
Are you guys now feeling a lot more confident heading towards the Tri-Nations against New Zealand 2 weeks' time?
Definitely, we'll give it our best shot.
Looking forward to a good break in Cape Town?
Yes.
Peter, well done, congratulations. That's Peter Rousseau, and you can hear the Lions supporters behind us. They are absolutely going ballistic. The Lions are doing their lap of honour. We're going to hope to pick up Martin Johnson in a few moments' time, have a word with him. But right now, we're going to go and find Joost van der Westhuizen, who is the captain for the Springboks on the field. And here he is, Joost, one of the three skippers on the field today. Much better performance for you guys.
Yes, excellent. We wanted to come out here and give the guys a hiding, and that's what we did. And the guys played with passion and pride.
There was a time in the first half where it looked like they were actually drawing you guys into a little bit of a physical confrontation. Was the word at half-time to forget about it, get on with the game?
That's it. We wanted to come out here and play rugby, and that's what we did, and that's why we had that big score,
And you got another try?
Well, I have to say thank you to my guys, to the 15 guys out there.
All right, Joost, I believe it's also the first time you've ever captained a side to a victory. You've captained Northerns twice, you lost both those games.
Well, it's excellent to have a first win as captain. Thanks.
All right, enjoy your celebration tonight, Joost. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we hope Gary Teichman is also doing okay as well. Right, if we can ask Russell just to hang on a second there, and just quickly go over here and grab our Most Valuable Player Award. Russell Bennett, congratulations on a great game. This is your most valuable player, courtesy of Boots and All. And
some great scenes from Ellis Park in Johannesburg. It's been a terrific series for the Lions. They may have lost today, but overall, the Lions were the winners. They've taken the series 2-1. We're back in a couple of minutes. Well, these are great scenes at the end of the final test, the third and final test from Ellis Park in Johannesburg. The Lions have been beaten today, but of course they've taken the series 2-1. 35-16 was the final margin today, and without doubt South Africa a much more forbidding side today. Certainly in the second half they had too much gas for the Lions, and the Lions, it was a pretty brave performance from them, but it wasn't enough today. But like I say, huge credit to them overall for the series success. Well, now, just a reminder of the great boxing that's coming up on Sky. 3 world title fights coming your way this month on Sky Sports, featuring Lennox Lewis, Prince Nazim, and tonight at 8, Steve Collins when he defends his WBO super middleweight title against the American Craig Cummings. That's this evening at 8 o'clock here on Sky Sports 1. Now, this is the full-time scoreboard, just confirmation of that. The British Lions losing by 35 points to 16. The only try for the Lions coming from Matt Dawson, but a pretty open performance from South Africa. 4 tries for them. Montgomery, Van der Westhuizen amongst the early scorers. And these are the match facts, if you like to break down the game into these statistics, as I know most of you do. And I guess in a way that tells its own story. Well, Ian Evans and Dowie Morris have been here watching every ball as the game unfolded, and we're slightly disappointed, Dowie, it has to be said, but we do recognise that South Africa was certainly much more capable today.
Yeah, it would have been the icing on the cake, obviously, to whitewash them, but they came back, they showed what quality players they are, and they finished off better than we did, unfortunately. Again, it could have gone both ways. At one stage we were pressing, but you know, they finished their scores off.
It was a much more balanced performance from South Africa, wasn't it, Ian, don't you think?
Yeah,
throughout the side.
Yeah, full credit to them. They played particularly well. They took their opportunities. But I felt that 16-23, we pulled back to 1 try. I thought we had a couple of chances there. Yes. We might have, you know, come back close to them, and they tend to get a bit ratty, you know, and again we put them under pressure. But full credit to them, they came back immediately after Matt Dawson scored, and then the gap got a little bit too much for us.
Yeah, in the simple terms, what was the problem in the second half? Where did the Lions go wrong?
Well, full credit to South Africa. They put the pressure on us. We gave them a little bit too much room, possibly. You know, but they took their chances. They closed us down. They made us create a couple of turnovers when in crucial areas when we were on attack. And you know, it cost us dear. We failed to capitalise on those opportunities.
Yeah, we'll talk about the game a little more in just a moment. But right now, we can hear from Martin Johnson, the Lions captain. He's with Darren Scott.
There were a couple of people before the game that were saying that you guys even exceeded your own expectations when you'd wrapped up the series after 2 tests. Is that fair comment, or was that the whole plan?
Well, you always plan to win your games, so yeah, but being 2-0 up it was difficult for us to take the last week and know what to do. But I'm happy we came out and gave it our best shot, and the Springboks were the better team today, and fair play, they won the game. They took their chances, and they won the game fair and square, no complaints.
All right, it's been amazing just how much of a unit you guys have looked during this whole tour. It's been a togetherness all the time. That's been a key part of the game.
It's the only way to win in South Africa. You've got to be, you've got to be together, and it's a very hard place to come and tour. The provincial teams are very strong. The Springboks are very, very hard to beat at home, or anywhere for that matter. So we knew from the outset if we weren't together as a squad, we had no chance.
All right, Martin, just one final question. Fran Cottony and McGeechan, I think they must be sick and tired of people saying 74, 74, 74. So from your side, other than your players who played a big role, just how important were they to this whole victory?
Well, they played in 74, and I think they quite like people talking about it, to be honest. But their planning and their management was key, because the managing was so efficient that it just left us to play the game, and we had nothing to worry about apart from playing rugby for 8 weeks, and we did that quite well. And the boys will thank them tonight for their job.
All right, Martin, it's been a pleasure having you guys in the country. The Lion Lager Trophy is down below you there again, so we're going to let you maybe do another lap of honour to warm up. Thank you very much, and enjoy your trip. Have a safe trip home.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Martin Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, well done to Martin Johnson and, of course, the rest of the Lions squad. Ian, I know you were feeling that right throughout this series, the Springboks perhaps never really gave you the credit you felt you deserved.
I think that's something we were aware of throughout the tour. You know, it was always criticising the opposition rather than giving us credit.
Yes.
And I think it's one of the points that really the boys picked up on and used it really to give them more of an impetus, I suppose. The fact that they weren't giving us any credit, and you know, and you can see the initial reaction there was the fact that were you surprised to win 2? Well, as a matter of fact, we weren't particularly surprised. You know, we deserved what we got, and we won the series.
What about some of the star performers, if you like, Dowie? I know it's difficult to pick players out, but I mean, let's take, for example, Matt Dawson, who's a man who went out there really unfancied, but he's actually come through and taken the opportunity. And there are 1 or 2 others, John Bentley, for example. These guys have got a terrific platform for a great season coming up, haven't they? Without a doubt. I mean, Matt obviously played for England a couple of years ago, then got dropped, and he went out 3rd choice. No one rated him, but that showed the character, obviously, of the man and also of the squad. That it didn't matter whether you're first shot. There was no test side picked, even probably until the first test. No one knew exactly when he was going, and he's proved it. I mean, he's a quality player anyway. They wouldn't be on the tour to start with. But the likes that we've talked about before, Jeremy Davidson. You know, it was going to be Shaw Johnson the second row. No problem. Jason Leonard was going to come in there. But credit to the 2 people I want to mention is Lawrence Delaglio, which I haven't mentioned probably in the 3, who has been probably my man on the tour. I mean, everyone talks about Neil Back. But the tackling that he does, and another guy, Tom Smith, who was generally thought a good club player, you know, lucky maybe to play for Scotland. What a guy! I mean, he scrimmaged his heart out, but he's also got you know, fantastic pair of hands on him, and quality, but all round. I mean, Scott Gibbs tackling the centre. Where do you go on to? Absolutely. Well, we tried a little earlier to hear from Matt Dawson with Graham Simmons. We'll try again.
Well, personally, it's been a great success for me, as I've always concentrated on my game right from the very beginning, but that's all stemmed from a great team performance and atmosphere. Straight from Weybridge, we came together really well, and we made friends very quickly. And as I'm sure Lawrence has said, that, you know, no one went off tour, nobody split from the camp, there was no dirt trackers, and that was why we were successful.
I know you're heading off to Australia now, but are you looking forward to going home?
I'm desperate to go home. I know there are hundreds of people in Auntie Ruth at the moment, and they're having a great time, and as for my family and Natalie at home, they're all everyone's been supported just superbly well, and we look forward to getting home.
Well done, Matt. Thanks very much, mate.
Cheers.
I think Matt Dawson's sort of summing it up, really, Ian, in terms of the team commitment right from those early days that you mentioned. Yeah, it's very difficult to isolate individuals. It's been, if any tour has ever been a squad effort, this is the tour that's epitomised that. Yeah, and just final thoughts sort of on these boys, Dowie. I mean, so many of them, Matt Dawson we were just discussing, have emerged and taken full credit, and I guess the whole squad will come back. We all need to pat them on the back, really, don't we? Definitely. I mean, just hope, as Ian McGeechan said, it's the only way to take on and win World Cups. They've got to go back now to their home nations, Ireland, Scotland, wherever, and their coaches, managers, whatever, have got to adapt this style of play. You know, you've got to scrummage and line out well, fair enough, but the support play that they've showed you with backs and back row linking, but also the front 5. And we always told that the many tackles a front 5-4 can do will win you games, and it's proved it today, and I just hope this is taken on now, and then we can, in 1999, go to the World Cup, and one of the home nations win it. Well, despite the result today, Neil Jenkins will certainly have had a tour to remember. He's broken Gavin Hastings' points record for the Lions. He now, Neil Jenkins that is with Graham.
Well, Neil, a strange feeling of emotions at the moment, I should think.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, you know, to win the series, but to have lost today and still receive the trophy is a little bit strange, but, you know, we'll take it.
There was a little huddle at the end there, and John Bentley was telling everybody, we are the winners, we are the winners. And he's right. Oh, most definitely. You know, we were 2-0 up before today's game, and it's been a tough week. You know, we celebrated a little bit last Saturday, and, you know, we were proud to have won the series last week. And to come here today and, you know, under a lot of pressure again, and they were expecting a win. And to be fair to them, they played extremely well, and they deserved a win. Do you feel perhaps that winning 3-0 was, if you like, a bridge too far for the British Lions?
As I think, you know, no other side has done it before against South Africa, ever whitewashed them. But, you know, we were keen all week. We were looking forward to the game, and, you know, obviously trying to make it 3-0. But as I say today, you know, fair dues to South Africans. They played extremely well and deserved their win.
Good luck to you, Neil. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thanks.
Well done, Neil Jenkins. Well, we're virtually out of time. Ian Evans, Dowie Morris been in the studio. Very brief final word from you, Ian. I think it's one thing we've got to learn from this tour. We cannot rest on our laurels. We play total rugby. We don't wear numbers in our jerseys, and that's the way forward for Northern Hemisphere rugby. Terrific, boys. Thanks for your company today. That's it from us for now. We'll see you again very soon. For now, though, we've got to say well done to the Lions.
Deep within each heart there lies
a magic spark that lights the fire of our imagination. And since the dawn of man, the strength of just I can has brought together people of all nations. There's nothing ordinary in the living of each day. There's a special part every one of us.
Take his going to score.
Feel the flame forever burn, teaching lessons we must learn to bring us closer to the power of as the world gives us its best to stand apart from all the rest. It is the power of the dream that brings us here.
If he goes all the way, it will be a magnificent try.
Your mind will take you far.
Jenkins, oh, beautiful strike.
You'll find your fate is all your own.
What a score from Matt Dawson. Take, it's a victory. The Lions have won.
Teaching lessons we must learn to bring us closer to the power of the dream. The world unites in hope and peace. We pray that it will always be.
It's Gus Drive.
A magnificent effort from the British and Irish Lions.
The roar will be tremendous.